Do you want to know how to teach a child to accept criticism? This is a super useful skill to know. I am Nicholeen Peck and I teach parenting, good communication, child development, education, all over the world through the lens of the principles self-government. And in this video, we are talking about accepting criticism. In this video, we're going to talk about the importance of accepting criticism. We're going to talk about self-government and how accepting criticism relates to a person's self-government. And then we're going to talk about how you can teach your child and prepare your child to accept criticism in a healthy way. We've all seen children experience criticism in non-healthy ways. They complain, they whine, they play the victim, they get angry, they talk back, they start fighting. Those are all kinds of things. Sometimes there's other behavior too, though, like they pull back, they isolate, they don't talk to anybody just because somebody said something that they did not like. Criticism is hard no matter your age. Just last night, I ended up getting a text message from a friend of mine, a grown man. And he was explaining to me how someone gave him some criticism and how he did not appreciate that, how he did not like it, and how it did not feel comfortable to him. And I thought to myself, well, is it because the other person was trying to harm you? Or is it because you were not prepared to accept criticism? Because it could be either one. It could be that you don't have the skill for how to accept criticism. And I suspect that this person is still working on learning that skill. And so I tried to help a little bit with some of my suggestions. But could it be that the other person tried to cause harm? Maybe. The thing is, I was mentioned and brought into the conversation because I was actually there when the other person spoke to this particular gentleman. And I don't think that she was trying to do harm. Interestingly enough, this gentleman actually said that he knew she wasn't trying to do any harm either, but for some reason it just didn't feel very comfortable or good to him. So he was a charitable person extending tons of charity to this other person, but he still had a hard time with the criticism. Why? Because it's criticism. Criticism is hard, especially if the criticism is true. If we hear a truth come at us, and it was something that we didn't think of ahead of time, we didn't recognize before, and suddenly there it is in front of us. It feels painful. It feels a little bit abrasive. We have to sort it and decide what to do with it, and it can take a minute before we decide that it was healthy and it was okay and that the other person meant well. So this does mean that when you are giving criticism to another person, you do need to watch your tone. You need to make sure that you are calm. So I think that's important. You know, some parents want to teach their children how to accept criticism, but they don't give criticism in very good ways. So I think as parents, we need to be wise there. We need to be working on our calmness. And at the end of this video, if you stay to the end, then I have a free gift for you that will help you with your calmness. So stay tuned for that. If you are calm though, and your tone is good, your child should feel loved, even if they are experiencing criticism at the time. But what if your child is getting criticism from a teacher, a neighbor, a grandparent, a friend, somebody else who maybe their tone isn't so great? How do you help them? Well, regardless of if the person giving the criticism is calm or not, you can prepare a person to accept criticism in a healthy way. So this gentleman mentioned to me in this text that this person who seemed a little offensive to him also did something that he perceived was offensive to me. That I was saying something and this person cut me off and said something in the moment that made a word addition or correction to something that I had said. I remembered the moment when he said that, but do you know I'd completely forgotten about it? Because I didn't take it personally. I thought, oh, that person's trying to help, they're throwing some criticism my way, and no problem. They're probably right on that. I can totally accept it. It is so much easier to accept criticism if you've decided ahead of time to give people the benefit of the doubt that they're trying to do something good and to not take anything personally. The person who was speaking in ways that was slightly offensive is somebody I absolutely love. I know they've got my back on anything and that they love me. And I also know they love this other guy. And he knows that too about all of us, but he just wasn't super prepared that day. And he was expressing it to me. But I was, so it didn't really faze me whatsoever. I thought, well, okay, that came off a little abrupt, but whatever, like, because she's trying to help. These types of situations can occur all the time. It's just part of being a human. Sometimes our tone comes off wrong. So how do we prepare our children, no matter the circumstances, regardless of whether the person who's delivering the criticism is calm or not? How do they get prepared? So if you've already subscribed to this channel, you know I talk a lot about skills, because a person who is self-governed has to prepare ahead of time to use certain skills so that they are ready to self-govern themselves. When you learn the skill to accepting criticism, it is the very same to the skill accepting a no answer. Because when you experience criticism, it feels like, no, you're not right. Whew, that's hard to take, right? We all know some adults around us who can't even take the truth that they weren't right sometimes, right? We know people like that who are grown. They should be mature enough that they can handle it. But like I mentioned, even this grown man that I was talking to the other night was struggling. I know there are many people in their husband and wife relationships that struggle because one or the other of them cannot take criticism, or maybe both. And so they can't help each other. They just end up conflicting all the time instead of nurturing, supporting, and coaching each other along in this important thing called parenting. Well, our children are no different than adults. They struggle accepting criticism too, especially if they're strong-willed, have, high confidence, high egos. They're going to have a hard time with criticism too. So we need to prepare them. So the steps to accepting criticism are vital to learn. All of these books teach skills and principles of self-government. And so do my courses on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com. So this book here is my main book. It's called Parenting a House United. It's the book I wrote first, and it outlines a lot of the nuts and bolts of how to teach your children self-government and how to learn self-government yourself. Now, these 4 books here each teach one of the 4 basic skills. The 4 basic skills of self-government are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. If a person learns the skill sets to those 4 basic skills, that takes care of 99% of their behavioral problems. Now, this book right here, Porter Earns a Quarter, teaches the skill accepting no answers and criticism. You will mostly see no answers that happen, but sometimes you see a few criticisms in the book as well. And he has to use the same skill set to handle all of those situations. He does 4 things. When a person learns to accept criticism or no answers, they look at the person or the situation, they keep a calm face, voice, and body, they say okay, or they ask to disagree appropriately, and then they drop the subject. So what would that look like in real life? So in real life, a parent may say to their child, hey, I need to give you a little bit of criticism about something. I noticed a few moments ago when you were telling me a secret that you had some pretty bad breath, and I'm wondering if we maybe forgot to brush our teeth today. So I need you to go and brush your teeth and fix that problem, okay? And then the child would go, okay. And they would go and they would brush their teeth. They might even say, oh, okay, sorry, I forgot. I'll go brush my teeth. And so they go brush their teeth and they come back and then everything's fine. Ideally, that's how a person accepts criticism. What happens in many families is a parent gives a child criticism and the child does not know the skills for accepting criticism. And then the child starts to talk back. Well, no, I did brush my teeth. Because maybe they don't want to, or maybe they ate something stinky. I don't know, whatever it is. I mean, we have to give criticism about lots of things. That's part of life. We don't want to overload unnecessary criticism. That can be damaging, but we do need to teach our child to accept some criticisms. That's part of being human. You're never going to please everybody. You're never going to win everything. Sometimes you just have to be able to accept those no answers and criticisms of life. If the child starts talking back, getting angry, getting emotional, then many parents are not prepared for what to do at that point. And that's when they have a power struggle and a problem on their hands. So if you know how to stay calm, and if you know how to correct your child in a calm way, and they know how they will be corrected too before it occurs, then hopefully that means you're self-governing and you've been watching a lot of the videos here on this channel, as well as learning the full course, because the whole training does not happen here on this channel. I'll just tell you that up front, save you some time looking through every single video of the 1,000 videos that are here. There are a lot of things here, but I can't touch on all of it here in the short length of these videos. So anyway, you have to learn what you are going to do. You need to have a plan. So in my TSG parenting training and courses, I teach the steps for correcting negative behaviors, and we teach them to the children too. I teach how to help them get calm when they're going completely out of control, and we teach it to the children too. There's no surprises, there's no tricks. It's all very deliberate because it's self-government. I think you would benefit from learning a lot about those things, and you can learn more about those things, but your calmness is going to be your first stop. So I highly recommend that as you're getting into some of these skills, these 4 basic skills, skills like correcting the children, that you go in understanding how to keep yourself calm too. I have a gift for you. In the description below this video, there is a link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. That will take you to my Calm Parenting Toolkit, and you can have it for free right now. The Calm Parenting Toolkit has 10 tools for calmness that will make a huge difference in the happiness in your day, as well as the happiness in the days of your children. It should help them accept correction and criticism and be able to have a healthy upbringing. Click on the link to that toolkit now. I'll see you there.